Okay, gals, settle down, settle down. I know you're excited to be here, but please give me your attention. Welcome to Sobriety Snippets for Women Over 40, where we elevate our mindset and trade hangovers for higher consciousness, one powerful little snippet at a time. I'm Becca Jacobson, thrilled to be here as always. If you are a longtime snippet lover, thank you for coming. Welcome back. If you're new in snippet land, what can I say? This is a red letter day for you. You found snippet land, which is exactly where you belong if you're a 40-plus woman struggling with alcohol. Gals, today, if you heard me on Monday, you know what we're doing today. Let me give you a quick recap. The truth of the matter is, with today's episode, and if you didn't hear Monday's, you would be better off going back and getting Monday's episode first and then coming back here. That would be my recommendation. Of course, you can do whatever you want. If you want to get a lower grade, just kidding. It is good to have that background. So on Monday, I talked about fear and doubt, our two biggest enemies. And I promised to give you a 30-second technique or strategy, whatever you want to call it, for stopping fear and doubt. But then we ended up talking about how both fear and doubt come across as reasonable, protective, logical, our friend. They're trying to keep us safe. They're reminding us of the past and what could go wrong if we do, etc., and so on. So that was Monday's episode. And I realized as I was talking that, without a thorough belief and a thorough understanding of that concept, the technique I want to give you really won't work, because you'll try it a couple times and then just forget about it. Because here's why. If we buy into the narrative, the lies. So doubt and fear are both liars, by the way. I didn't say that on Monday. That's the key here. That's really what I want you to believe, is that both fear and doubt are liars. Nothing they say is helpful. They are not protecting you. The only time fear is protecting you, or doubt, is when your life is literally in danger. Don't step off the cliff. Okay, it's time to listen to fear. Otherwise, they serve no reasonable purpose in the modern world. We don't need the same type of protection that fear and doubt are trying to give us to keep us safe. So we're not going to beat them up. We don't hate them. We understand why they're there, but we recognize them for what we are, and we decide, I'm not going to have these long, drawn-out conversations with fear and doubt, and I'm definitely not going to let them decide my next action. So that's a little bit more on what we did on Monday. So if you believe me and you understand this, then how do we stop it? This becomes the question, right? Because honestly, it's just automatic. The voice comes on and says things, whether it's fear or doubt, there it is, and it's happening. And often we don't even realize it. We don't hear our own internal monologue because it's always on. From the moment we wake up in the morning, everyone, not just us, everyone, humans, that little voice in our head is going. It's going nonstop, chattering nonstop, judging, etc. And after a while, you barely hear it, right? You're not always aware of what your mind is saying. You're busy doing other things, but it's there. And then there are other moments in our lives where it's so loud and so torturous that we're like, I can't shut it off. And that's often where we run and grab a bottle of wine or whatever our favorite liquid might be. But it's always there. That's the point. And so the technique that I'm going to give you is to use with the minute you recognize, oh, I'm in fear or I'm in doubt, I'm actually buying into what's being said here. That's when we step in with the technique and we stop it. And this is going to take practice. It's going to take patience, because it's just going to keep happening, especially in the beginning. But it's probably time to give you the technique, right? Are you like, okay, we got it, Becca. How do we do it? What do we do? Okay, so number one, recognize that you have slipped into fear or doubt. Number two is very important, and number two is actually the step that most people will skip. If you skip number two, it's the reason that we end up not actually succeeding with this technique. Number two is interrupt. And I want this to be a jarring pattern break. Not just, I see I'm in fear. That's not enough. I want you to do something jarring, something that says to your subconscious and your nervous system, wait a minute, hold on a second. Now, this can be literally saying, stop, either internally or actually verbally if there's no one around. It can be a deep breath, a deep intentional breath. It can be straightening the posture. Suddenly put those shoulders back and stand up straight and readjust the posture. It can be looking around the room. It can be touching your fingers together, or even just physically shifting position. You get my point. It's breaking the momentum, the pattern break, the interruption, something that says, wait, this is not normal. Why is she suddenly clapping her hands together? That's the signal, no, we're not doing this. So the interrupt step, the pattern break, the pattern interrupt, please don't skip this part. And you want to choose in advance what you're going to use. I personally just love whispering, stop. Stop. And then immediately, remember, this is a 30-second technique. So immediately, you're going to replace. You're going to install a new thought. This could be something like, I'm safe right now. I'll handle it if it happens. Not useful, thanks anyway. That's not open for discussion. You get my point. Now, you want to have your replacement phrase ready. You can't think it up in the moment. You can see why that won't work. So come up with a replacement phrase for when fear or doubt or other negative emotions attack you. There it is, gals. And that should all happen in, actually, the truth is it should not take 30 seconds. That can be done in about 15, even 10 seconds. Immediately recognize I'm there, you're there. So it might be a thought, something like, wait, that's fear. Or hold on, that's doubt. The minute you recognize it, interrupt the pattern, clap your hands together, stop walking, stop doing what you're doing, and just say stop. At the same time you physically stop. Whatever you choose, right? You've planned this in advance, and then immediately install your new chosen thought and just say it over and over while breathing gently until you've calmed and you realize, oh, I couldn't even remember what I was. Because, see, when you do this, the fear thought or the doubt thought, the narrative that was trying to start up in your mind will just get lost. It'll float away. And don't try and remember what it was. Just let it be gone. But here's the thing, gals. Don't worry, it'll be back, especially in early days. So you need patience here. You need compassion. Don't get angry at it or yourself. Just keep doing this. Recognize, interrupt, and replace, which if I look at that, that's RIR. Not the greatest acronym. Recognize, interrupt, and replace. And this will keep you from spiraling into a long, in-depth conversation with a liar, which is fear is a liar, doubt is a liar. In fact, most of your rational mind, your so-called rational mind, is lies. All it's doing is giving you a replay from yesterday and a worry about tomorrow. It's enough already. It's time to take control of what's going on between our ears. So, the RIR system, recognize, interrupt, replace. It's clean, memorable, practical, and it will help you change your life. It really will if you dig in. So if you did Monday's episode, you're not surface dwelling. You got a nice, clear picture of how fear and doubt show up in your life because you've been watching for it. If you haven't heard Monday's episode and you found this one helpful, I really recommend you go back and listen to it to get the whole picture. You've now got the 30, 20, 15, 10-second technique. This should never exceed 30 seconds. By then, it means you're off in some sort of la-la land. It means you've gone into some sort of dialogue because it simply doesn't take that long. So you have these tools, gals. Don't surface dwell these. Make a commitment. I'm going to practice this. I'm going to find out what this will do and commit to a good month of this. Because once you do a month, you'll never stop. And here's the other beautiful thing. Once you get good at it, it just happens naturally. And after a while, fear and doubt, they just don't even bother anymore. They're like, well, there's no point in nagging her. She won't even listen. Well, there's no point. Trust me, you can get there. Gals, if you enjoyed this and you'd like to come deeper into Snippet Land, today, this day, the doors have been flung open to the Fresh Start alcohol-free experience for women over 40, live with me, April 15th to 19th. That's right, we start 1 week from today. This is me teaching live once a day, right at 1 o'clock. That's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific. You know that time of day, right? The hardest time of the day for many of us. When we're triggered and we're ready to wind down, that's when I'm going to go live, and you're going to join me. At the same time, we're all gathering together in a WhatsApp group. I'm giving you 5 days of strategy and guidance and support and Q&As. The event is free, gals, and it's unlike anything you've experienced before. Come and join me for the Fresh Start alcohol-free experience for a spring renewal 2026. The link to join us is in the show notes, or simply go to thefreshstart.recoveringwithbecca.com. That's thefreshstart.recoveringwithbecca.com. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back next time so I can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.